All righty. Happy Wednesday, one and all. Happy Wagyu Beef Wednesday, as I tweeted out earlier. Welcome to this Wednesday, March 25th, 2026 edition of the Cory Sanning Show. I'm your host, yours truly, coming at you live from beautiful, sunny Old East Tennessee, where the weather's finally lightening up, and so is the mood around here. Well, mostly because the Vols are going to the Sweet 16 and they have a chance to get the Elite Eight once again, but we'll get into that in a little bit later because, as I said, the show is called Wagyu Beef Wednesday. Now, probably you're sitting there thinking, what the hell does that mean? Because yesterday we detailed the Stephen A. Smith, Jason Whitlock beef and the responses and the back and forth. Today we're going to get into maybe some bigger beef, some more important beef. Maybe not as current, but it dates back decades. And it is Mr. One, Scottie Pippen, once again throwing shade at the greatest of all time, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, in a Mr. Pibb commercial. We're going to watch that here in a second. And we're going to get into the deep-seated roots of this hatred that he's developed for Michael over the years and how he continuously changes narratives. Michael's the greatest. Then LeBron was the greatest. Then Michael was the greatest again. Then it was Magic. Then now he says, I mean, he's even gone as far as to say he's the greatest. He's better than LeBron. Scottie No Tippin' Pippen is definitely getting too big for his britches. I should say that. But we're going to get into that. Also, I got a special tribute later on in the show that I'm going to perform. Not really perform, but I'm going to read off. And as well as we'll get into some more beef. Dan Orlovsky and the Pat McAfee Show don't seem to be getting along too well right now. Or either that or Dan's ego is just hurt from yet another poor take of his. Again, this show is brought to you by my friends at Clean Eats Knoxville. Clean Eats has definitely been one of my favorite sponsors over the years, simply because it helps me not have to worry so much about meal prepping on Sundays. I need my time. I need my time away from my 9 to 5. I need my time away from this job. I need some sort of relaxation, and cooking chicken, rice, and broccoli for 4 hours a day, 4 hours on Sunday, definitely does not help. So Clean Eats Knoxville, thank you very much. We'll get into our order here in just a little bit. But as you saw the thumbnail for the show, and I'm not going to back down from it, Scottie Pippen once again throwing shade at Michael Jordan, this time via Mr. Pibb commercial. Obviously, Michael Jordan and he were arguably the most iconic, greatest duo in the history of basketball. Most successful, obviously, winning 6 championships in 8 years together. Well, 6 championships in 8 years in the 90s. And for some reason, ever since The Last Dance, the narrative has completely changed, especially from Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen, the same guy who begged Michael Jordan to come back after he retired the first time. Scottie Pippen, the same guy who quit against the Detroit Pistons in a Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals because he had a migraine. Same guy who would not go into the game because the last shot was called for Tony Kukoc in that 1994 season that everyone's stuck on with the one season after Michael Jordan left. Refused to enter the game because the play wasn't called for him and pouted on the bench. Tony Kukoc hit the game winner anyway. We'll get into that here more in a little bit. But just a little bit of my diatribe when it comes to Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen, as I said, was on a Mr. Pibb commercial. We're going to watch that here real quickly, and then we're going to react on the other side and get into the deep-seated roots of this beef, and I don't think it's going to be a reason that quite any of you expect. So here is Scottie Pippen for Mr. Pibb, or as he calls it, Mr. Pibb.
Let's set the record straight about Pibb. When you think about Pibb, you think of what? Second best?
Fact check him, Pip.
When something has been considered second best for so long, we just blindly accept it as gospel.
A decades-long plot built on marketing, social media.
Multi-part documentaries.
Pip took that personally.
Yeah, I said it. Pip is a GOAT.
It's Pibb.
Don't correct me.
And there you have it. He is not just saying this because it's in a commercial. He has gone on record saying this on several podcasts. I believe it was with Patrick Bet David. He really is so delusional now that he believes this. Scottie Pippen, who never once won a finals MVP. You ask, what's the significance of that? Magic Johnson, widely regarded as one of the greatest 3 to 4 greatest players ever. Didn't stop James Worthy from winning a finals MVP off of a masterful Game 7. Didn't stop Magic from winning finals MVP his rookie season when Kareem went down. Had Kareem stayed healthy, he would have won MVP had they won that series. Magic Johnson got it. Same with Larry Bird. He didn't win Finals MVP every time. What stopped Scottie Pippen from winning a Finals MVP if he was that good as he says? He had better than LeBron James, which is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard out of his mouth. You want stats or you want championships? LeBron's got championships. He's got 2 less than you, and he didn't have to be second fiddle to get them. But getting into Scottie Pippen's book, Unguarded. I've read it. It is actually a very good read. I'll give him that. Even though he didn't write it himself, obviously. But Scottie Pippen even opens the book in the prologue with this. And of course, it's discussing The Last Dance. I'm going to read it for you live here on camera. All right. I mean, this is just funny. This is just funny. All right. Let's get into it. A lot of dead air. On and on it went. The spotlight shining on number 23. Even in the second episode, which focused for a while on my difficult upbringing and unlikely path to the NBA, the narrative returned to MJ and his determination to win. I was nothing more than a prop. His best teammate of all time, in quotations, he called me. He couldn't have been more condescending if he tried. Really? That's what you got out of that part of the documentary? Really? Michael Jordan poured out to how you cannot speak me without mentioning him. I am not me without him. That's condescending? What's condescending about that? Scottie, you tell me. What is condescending about Michael Jordan, the greatest winner and the greatest leader in the history of professional sports, saying, I wouldn't be me without him? There are 2 people that come to mind when you think of Pantheon athletes ever that just seem that they are above all. That seem like they are, like Shannon Sharpe said, that they walk on air when you enter a room. It's Babe Ruth, it's Muhammad Ali, and it's Michael Jordan. Tom Brady might even have entered that equation. That is the only 3 or 4. By the time it's all said and done, LeBron might be in there. But he doesn't get there without you, and you can't, and you, for some reason, you need to have more credit than you have. Everyone has given Scottie Pippen a fair amount of credit. And he goes on in the book. On second thought, I could believe my eyes. I spent a lot of time around the man. I knew what made him tick. How naive was I to expect anything else? Each episode was the same. Michael on a pedestal, his teammates secondary, smaller. The message no different from when he referred to us back then as his supporting cast. LeBron James went to Miami in 2010. It was called Wade County. You think it didn't hurt D-Wade's pride, and D-Wade is a much better individual player than Scottie Pippen ever dreamed of being? You think it didn't hurt his pride to take a step back after he had won a championship without LeBron? Been the league's leading scorer, could have won MVP in 2009 had the Heat been better? You think he loved taking a back seat and saying, hey, listen, I'm LeBron's second option? No, but he did it, and he damn sure doesn't complain about it. And this is the funny thing. I'm just going to pull up this clip. This was from the 1997 NBA Finals. This is when they were presenting the NBA Finals MVP. Obviously, David Stern on the podium after. And this is what Michael Jordan had to say about when presented with the trophy. I'll play you the video, but I'll read the tweet first from @ApexJones22. You, my MVP, dog. When Michael Jordan was presented the 1997 Finals MVP trophy, he brought Scottie Pippen up to hold the trophy with him. Told him he deserves it too, gave him the greatest compliment that a teammate can give another, and then told the world that they were an inseparable tandem. This was the video.
Congratulations, Michael Jordan, 1997 Finals MVP. Let's go. everybody that he was your MVP. Scottie Pippen we're a tandem. It's hard to split us up. He means a lot to me when I go out and play on the basketball court. He relieves a lot of the pressure that I have to deal with. I try to do the same for him. It's hard to take this MVP by myself. He's got to take half of it. I take the trophy. He may get the car. Congratulations, Mike.
And Scottie Pippen's throwing all that away for what? For what? It's right there in front of your eyes. Michael Jordan has not once ever thrown shade at Scottie Pippen. Ever. No matter what Scottie has said about him in the media, no matter what, as my dog is chewing on a pen and I have to go take it from her. Don't get a plastic-obsessed dog, people. Oh, where was I? Michael Jordan has never once said anything bad about Scottie Pippen. Ever. Scottie Pippen has gone on, he's gone on podcasts and he said that Michael was a horrible player. He was selfish. He was a horrible player. Those were his words. He was a horrible player before Scottie got there. Scottie Pippen, who averaged 7 points a game his first 2 seasons. I mean, come on. Scottie Pippen, who would not be a top 75 player of all time, were it not for number 23. Were it not for number 23. And the more and more that I look back on this, the more ridiculous that it sounds. Scottie Pippen in 6 NBA Finals averaged roughly 19 points per game. See if that's correct. This is via StatMuse. Okay. Yep, Scottie Pippen averaged 19 points per game in his finals career. 19 points, 5.9 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He did what he was supposed to do. Only shot 42.5% from the field. Michael Jordan in 6 NBA Finals, 33.6 points per game. 6 rebounds, or 6 assists. 2 steals, nearly a block. Why was he first team all defense alongside Scottie? Case in point. Michael Jordan shoots 48% from the field in his finals career, and he actually shot 37% from 3 in his finals career. Scottie Pippen shot 25% from 3 in his finals career. You can take this all in every single series. Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan in 1991. Michael Jordan, 31.2 points per game, 11.4 assists per game. Scottie Pippen, 20.8 points per game, 9.4 rebounds. 1991-92, Michael Jordan, 35.8 points per game, Scottie Pippen, 20.8. Same average again. Third NBA Finals together, Michael Jordan, 41 points per game, Scottie Pippen, 21. Fast forward to 1996. Michael Jordan, 27 points per game in the finals, Scottie Pippen, 15. We eviscerated LeBron for having 17 points per game in an NBA Finals, but Scottie Pippen has 15, but yeah, he's the GOAT. If you'd rather have championships, you want Scottie Pippen. You don't want LeBron, according to Mr. Pip, as he calls himself now. And then you fast forward it to the final NBA Finals together. Scottie Pippen, 20 points per game. Michael Jordan, 32. It's not even close. It's really not. Scottie Pippen would not have 6 rings if it wasn't for playing alongside number 23. Hey, Scottie Pippen would not be a top 75 player of all time if it not for playing next to number 23. Scottie Pippen went down to Houston after his days with the Bulls were over. Scottie Pippen played with Hakeem Olajuwon, much like a certain Clyde Drexler played with Hakeem Olajuwon after leading the Blazers to the finals 2 times. 2 times by himself. Won a championship with Hakeem as the lowest seeded team to ever win a championship. They were the 6th seed that year. Granted, Michael Jordan wasn't playing. That might be the reason they won that year. They might have beat him the year before, but who knows? Scottie Pippen couldn't. You remember when Scottie Pippen was the veteran piece that the Blazers needed in 2000 to get over the hump? Do you remember Scottie Pippen and his Blazers had a 15-point lead on the Lakers in Game 7 of the 2000 Western Conference Finals heading into the 4th quarter and blew it? Where was Scottie Pippen to save the day then? Remember, if you want championships, you want Scottie Pippen. You don't want LeBron. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree here, folks. And we actually got a video here that we're going to listen to. Just explaining this. And this is at You Hate Basketball. Just say. It's a great video put together, and we're going to watch it, and we're going to react on the other side because, like I said, this is just ridiculous. The fact that he cannot let it go. Okay, fine. The reason Scottie Pippen is bitter with Michael Jordan is because Scottie Pippen's ex-wife is marrying Michael Jordan's son. There you have it. I can't think of any other logical reason because Scottie never said this before, ever. Even in 2011, pre-2011 finals, when he said LeBron may be the greatest player to ever play the game because he gets everyone involved on a level that no one else really could, he said, still, Michael Jordan's the greatest scorer. Michael Jordan's this and that. And then after that finals, obviously he backtracked his comments for the first time in what would be like 10 or 12 times in the past 10 years on who was the GOAT. But that's why. I get being bitter about that. But Mike ain't got nothing to do with who his son's marrying. Mike ain't got nothing to do with your ex-wife being trifling. What's that got to do with him? Mike's just out there living his best life, owning NASCAR teams for a NASCAR driver who's won 4 races already to start the season. How crazy is that? Now Mike might need to lay off the alcohol and the cigars because them eyes be looking a little yellow. But yeah, we're going to watch the video real quick, and then we'll get into more on the other side. Again, this is at You Hate Basketball on X.
Just say you hate basketball. We all know the script, no chip without Pip, but when people don't tell the whole story, that's where I step in. This is a list of the scoring difference between the first and second leading scorers on the championship winning team. What do you see besides Michael Jordan more than everyone else? This is the top 20 and all of his finals appearances made the list? For their first championship, Jordan only averaged 10 more points than Scottie. But Jordan averaged 11 assists, and while Scottie was doing everything else, he only managed to average 6. In the next one, Scottie averaged the same, but Jordan averaged almost 5 more points for a 15-point differential. And then when he set the record for highest points per game average in the finals, he was averaging 20 more points than Scottie in the finals. And the second three-peat wasn't much different. I mean, 11, 12, and 18 more points than the guy who's the reason the Bulls are winning these championships. And yes, Michael Jordan took all the shots. Each possession is about getting a bucket, is it not? And when you're shooting over 50% from the field like he did, every shot is a high-quality possession. So why would you not give the ball to your best option? It's so he could be more efficient, right? You want him to be an ethical hooper? But do you want to be efficient more than you're effective? Because I get it, efficiency does matter, but definitely not more than being effective. And this is where the comparison to the modern game gets a little shaky because people praise efficiency like it's the end goal. But if you're that efficient, you should be shooting more. Players like Kevin Durant are elite scorers, there's no question. But scoring isn't just about accumulating points. It is not just a tally mark. These points need to be impactful. It's about putting pressure on the other team. It's about imposing your will on the game. Everybody talks about getting your points within the flow of the game, and that's cool and all until it's time to win. Basketball is not an algorithm. It's not if you do X, Y, and Z, you will automatically win. Sometimes, most of the time, you have to improvise. Now look at the other championship teams on the list. I never heard anyone say no chip without Antoine Walker. No chip without Vernon Maxwell. No chip without Andrew Wiggins. Isn't it hilarious how the...
Yeah, I want to piggyback off of this, and OG is nailing it right on top of the head. And when it comes to Scottie Pippen, no chip without Pip comments, and he's real at reality. Is Scottie, no. Quit saying no chip without Pip because we all know what your real nickname is, no tip and Pippen. Yeah, we do. We've heard about it. We know all about your habits in Chicago area steakhouses. We know all about you going through airports, fans that are enthralled to meet you because you're the great Scottie Pippen and you won't even speak to them. But yeah, has anyone ever said, man, if the 2006 Heat, who didn't have Antoine Walker averaging 11 points per game or averaging the second most points per game on the team, they wouldn't have won. Man, if Shaq didn't average 13 points a game in that series, they wouldn't have won. Nobody said that. But yeah, we always say, oh man, without Scottie Pippen, man, Michael Jordan would have, I'm sure some sort of second star would have came along that would have helped Michael Jordan get to a championship level. Scottie Pippen did what he was supposed to do, and we never had this conversation ever until Scottie Pippen started running his mouth. Everyone gives Scottie Pippen his due props. Nobody was criticizing him before this. Everyone said he is the legitimate best, probably second option in terms of how he can defend, how he can distribute, how he can rebound, and he could score fairly well. Most Scottie Pippen ever averaged in a season was 22 points per game, but this is just part of the little tidbits that hate to say it, LeBron fans, Kobe fans, anti-Michael Jordan fans will point out just to try to diminish him and say, oh man, it's all because of Scottie. Sorry, it was not because of Scottie. I went over their finals averages earlier. It's all there in the stats. And it's there in the tape too.
Second option with the highest points per game in the top 20 of this list is Chris Middleton. He scored just as much as Tim Duncan did when he won Finals MVP in 2003, 8 more points than Iguodala in 2015. And wait, didn't Andre Iguodala win Finals MVP by being Scottie Pippen? But Scottie Pippen couldn't win a Finals MVP being Scottie Pippen. Right, Middleton also scored more than Magic in 1980. And I know, Magic only won that Finals MVP because Kareem got hurt. But I wonder, if Michael Jordan got hurt for the last game of the finals and Scottie Pippen needed to lead the Bulls to 1 win for a championship, do you think he could do it? No chip without Pip though, right? And Scottie Pippen got compared to Magic Johnson a lot. And I'm sure we all agree Magic Johnson is a real pass-first player. So how does he have 3 separate scoring seasons better than Scottie Pippen's highest scoring season? And of course, his best scoring seasons were when Jordan wasn't there. And it's also interesting how he clearly scored the same amount of points whether Jordan was there or not. But even as the first option, he still couldn't score more than a guy that was passing to 2 players before he shot the ball himself. And one of them became the all-time leading scorer. And then I look at players like Clyde Drexler, who won with Hakeem Olajuwon. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like most people think Scottie Pippen was better than Clyde Drexler. And a lot of people praise Scottie Pippen for getting to the Eastern Conference semifinals in 1994 without Michael Jordan. But Clyde Drexler took the Blazers to the finals twice, and then won a championship with Hakeem Olajuwon on the lowest seeded team to ever win a championship. But Scottie Pippen couldn't do that. So if he couldn't even do what Clyde Drexler could do, why would you think he could do what Michael Jordan could do? Now who don't you see? Oh, he's way down here in the fine print where all of his stats are. Yeah, and the gap between LeBron and the second leading scorer on his teams is much smaller. I mean, Dwayne Wade once scored 35 points per game in the finals. Of course he's going to hold his own when LeBron is there.
All right, this isn't about the Jordan-LeBron comparison, so we're going to stop it right there. Shout out to @YouHateBasketball on X. But it tells the story, just like I did. Scottie Pippen is out of his mind. Scottie Pippen is falling off the rocker. Scottie Pippen needs to call me up right now and let me know who is selling him the weed he's smoking, because I need to try that shit. No pun intended. Because it'd probably knock me the hell out. It's so strong. What more evidence do you need than to look at their final scoring averages side by side to know that Scottie Pippen would not be the player he was without Michael Jordan? What more evidence do you need than Scottie Pippen quitting on his team in 1994, the season that he gets praised so much for leading the Bulls to the second round for? What's the excuse for Scottie Pippen sitting out Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals with a migraine and the Bulls losing that series to the Pistons? What's the excuse? Now, Scottie brings that up. He's like, why would the 1.8 second moment be in the documentary? It had nothing to do with it. It's part of the story. And unfortunately, it's part of the story that doesn't shine a very good light on Scottie Pippen, and he didn't like that. But Scottie Pippen, if you were that guy, you wouldn't have quit on your teammates. You wouldn't have sat there and pouted, and they wouldn't have had to go off on you in the locker room in tears because you quit on them. And they won the game anyway. So what does that tell you? And no, I saw the comment. Tim Donahue did not referee any of those games that you're talking about. He was busted. His scandal was for something that was way after Michael Jordan, actually. It was in 2001 or 3, I believe. But it's not all about scoring. Michael Jordan was a first-team All-Defensive Player 9 times. I just told you in those finals, he averaged 2 steals and a block. He averaged more than 6 assists. In that first finals, Jordan averaged 31 points and 11.5 assists. It wasn't just scoring. But typically, the highest scoring player on the team is usually the leader. Magic Johnson was. Kareem was for most of the time, but that's because Magic Johnson was a pass-first player. But as You Hate Basketball just said, he has 3 seasons with a higher scoring average than Scottie Pippen's season best average of 22 points a game. And like I said, Scottie Pippen he's just mad. He's just mad, bro. And because he's mad, has no reason to take it out on Mike. You can take it out on his son all you want. Talk shit about him. Talk about the drugs he's done. Talk about how your ex-wife is making a downgrade. Who cares? But at the same time, don't ruin you and Mike were up here. The only duo that compares to Mike and Scottie is Kobe and Shaq, and they were only together for, they were only the Kobe and Shaq duo for 4 seasons, but they were together for about 6, 7, 8 years. Mike and Scottie won 6 championships in 8 years. They're the reason Karl Malone doesn't have a ring. John Stockton. They're the reason Charles Barkley doesn't have one. They're the reason Clyde Drexler had to team up with Hakeem Olajuwon at the end of his career and skate by to get one. They're the reason Showtime didn't extend into the 90s. It's Dixie. Dixie. Get down. Dixie. Dixie. Animals, I swear. But as we all saw, and as we continue to see, Scottie Pippen is nothing more than the greatest Robin that ever lived. Scottie Pippen needs to stop this nonsense, particularly the delusional takes that he keeps spewing about him being better than LeBron. I mean, come on. Come on. Do you want stats or do you want rings? What do you mean? You never won without Mike. You never proved that you could lead a team to a championship. You couldn't even lead a team past the second round. I don't care if there was a blown call in that series. How many times in the finals was there a blown call on players like LeBron, Kobe, and D-Wade, and Mike, and Magic, and overcame it? Because they were that dude. You weren't. And it's just that simple. And the sooner we could hopefully go back to saying that Scottie Pippen, top 75 player, one of the greatest defenders ever, was who he was, the better off we'll be. Scottie's delusion's got to stop. And yeah, I'm a fool because I bought his book, but it was a good read. And Scottie Pippen's story should be celebrated. He had a very difficult upbringing and an unlikely path to the NBA, and now he's one of the 75 greatest players ever. Scottie Pippen. Those of you that remember the story from the 90s, Scottie Pippen took a bad contract. A contract that Jerry Reinsdorf, owner of the Bulls, told him not to sign. You're going to be worth a lot more. Just wait till next year. Do not sign this contract or I will not renegotiate with you. And what would happen? Scottie realized that his value was more than what he had signed for. And obviously it's generational money coming from a poor family. I get it. Even Mike told him, don't sign this. Wait till next year, man. You're gonna thank yourself. And Scottie didn't do it. And then he complained for years. And he did a selfish thing by not having surgery, delaying surgery because he was being, I wasn't fucking my summer up. Really, dude? I wasn't fucking my summer up? Come on. So you let an injury play out and you increase the chances of it getting worse just because you weren't fucking your summer up because you were mad because you did something that they told you not to do? I mean, come on. Come on, Scottie. Scottie, no tipping Pippen. Man. Never ceases to amaze me. Never ceases to amaze me. And, I really hope that one day that this is all squashed and Scottie and Mike can sit down and maybe have like a Kobe to Shaq, coming to Jesus interview, because I think that was really helpful in terms of rebuilding their relationship before Kobe's untimely passing. And it was really, really helpful just to see, because they sat there and they hashed it out. It wasn't, they admit what pissed them off. They admitted what they wish they would have done differently, and they admitted how good they were, and they were friends ever since. Scottie and Mike need to do the same thing, and the sooner that happens, the better. But that brings me to today's read. Today's episode is brought to you by Clean Eats Knoxville. Clean Eats Knoxville is my favorite because Clean Eats Knoxville saves me time on Sundays. Like I told you earlier, I cannot fathom working a 9 to 5, running a business, and having to cook chicken and broccoli and rice for 4 to 5 hours on a Sunday. I can't do it. Sorry. Especially during football season. Around here in Knoxville, we love it on Saturday and Sunday. Clean Eats Knoxville helps me avoid that. What you got to do, go to cleaneats.com, like we're going to make our order right here, and you simply log in and choose your nearest location. Obviously mine, Brookview Center Way, number 104 in Knoxville, Bearden area. Go see Emily and tell her Cory sent you. What are we going to be picking this week? Each week is a different menu, too, so you don't have to worry about the same things. Ooh, carnitas tacos. Oh, got to give me a couple of those. Sticky Asian chicken. Love me some veggies. High protein, low calorie. We are in a cutting phase, obviously. Those of you that are seen my other channel. Mexican lasagna. Pasta and burrito. Yum. I agree. Give me a couple of those. What do we got next? Beef egg roll in a bowl. Maybe not. Southwest breakfast burrito. Anything breakfast I'm okay for. I'm all for. Honey barbecue chicken bites. Please give me a couple of those. Then down here, you got the add-on items, the premium. We got some lobster Alfredo tortellini. That's new, and I am getting all of that. So, see how many we got. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Got 12. Let me get 2 more. Which one am I going to want? See, always looking for the highest protein, low calorie. We got the carnitas tacos taking the cake. And then what do? You go down here to the bottom. You choose how you want to pick up. You choose if you want low carb or extra protein. It's good for people who are in their bulking seasons, even though I don't believe in bulking, and that's a topic for the other channel for another day. Yeah, I always pay in store, and then you hit place order. It's that simple. Clean Eats Knoxville. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle. Next on the show, though, while we do have it's always a good day when you're 6 feet above ground. It's always a good day when I get to come on here and talk to you all. I do enjoy that as we grow our audience and grow everything. Today is a bit of a bittersweet day in my family, only because it's just a reminder for us of how long one of our patriarchs has been gone. Those of you that know me know this man better than most. It's my pawpaw, Harry R. Sanning. Today is his birthday. He was born in 1938, so this would be his, let's see, it's a shame on me for forgetting, because I should know this stuff. This would be his 2026 in 1938. He'd be turning 88. Happy 88th birthday in heaven, Pawpaw. For those of you that know me better than some, he was the reason that we started coming down here. You see, he was a hell of a cook. He was the reason we started coming down here. He moved down here. We were all supposed to, family-wise, in 2007, going into 2008. Then my parents sent us down here for a few summer vacations, and we'd spend the entire summer with him. I still remember to this day the very first night I ever spent in Tennessee, sitting on the back porch. We actually went to Taco Bell, and at the time my brother had gotten me on the chicken quesadillas after I'd been a soft taco guy for so many years. And we sat there on one of those old school glass outdoor tables that you used to have in cookouts with the family and ate, and it was just such a beautiful day. I remember he had this little row of trees, evergreen trees he had just planted along the fence line of his new house. The skies were blue. The way I've always described Tennessee and what made me fall in love with it was the sky. And what I mean by that is the evening sky when it's clear, when the orange meets the blue. And those of you that have paid attention to the sky know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, he left us in 2017. It still eats at you to this day. It really does, because a lot of things you wish you had said, but I do have a lot of great memories. As I've explained, I even posted when I was talking about LeBron in 2012 last week. I remember watching that game with him. Every big game he'd watch with me because he knew I was nervous. I wouldn't eat dinner. I would be sitting there rocking back and forth like a nervous wreck. And he always was able to talk me down. I just remember that game. I remember the last game we ever spent together, unfortunately, before he passed away from stage 4 lung cancer. It was the 2016 playoffs, Heat Hornets Game 6. The Heat were on the brink of elimination, and what a back and forth affair in the fourth quarter. I got to watch D Wade knock down some clutch shots on the court that I would go on to interview him on 3 years later. Crazy enough to think about that as it is too. And Purple Shirt Man, not long before he went down to Florida and ultimately said his goodbyes a few months later. It's just, they say, and here's another picture of him at the, that's actually the table right there and the chairs that we sat on. He brought it down here to Tennessee with him. That was his backyard up in his house in Ohio. That was always the smile he had. He always had his pair of jean shorts on, his button-up shirt, or a white T-shirt, and his New Balances, and you always knew the barbecue was going to be good. That's why it's a walking meme nowadays. Oh man, there's so many things I can say. There's so many things I wish I could say. I do talk to him from time to time. I do believe in God. I do go to church as much as I can. I don't push my views on anybody else, but that was something that Papa was big about. Was going to church on Sunday, going and getting breakfast after. That was always fun. Or coming home and making waffles, which usually was better. I cannot believe I go back now and look at the days where I said I'd rather have a McDonald's burger than a homemade cooked burger on the grill, and I'd rather have McDonald's breakfast than a homemade waffle. Crazy. My grandma and grandpa and Papa right now would probably be rolling if I said that to this day, because I don't even remember the last time I ate McDonald's now. And every time I eat homemade food, every time I hear that sizzle on the grill, I think of him. And like I said, this day it's happy, but at the same time, it's bittersweet. My overall message, I should say, from this, happy birthday, Papa. I miss you. I love you. I can't wait to see you again. And just be sure to hold those close to you and tell them that you love them. Give them hugs. Go and see them when you can. Text them when you can. Respond when you can, as much as you can, because you never know when you'll wake up and you won't have that ability anymore. And it seems like it's been yesterday, but we've had to go nearly 10 years without him. Next year will mark 10 years, and I'm not ready for that. But if there's one thing that I can say, the overarching theme of this episode, aside from the fact of the Scottie Pippen nonsense, is hold your people that you love close and dear. We never know when we're going to wake up, when we're going to go to sleep and not wake up. That's fragile. Death is fragile. Unfortunately, it happens every day. Unfortunately, it's a part of life. But it also makes you appreciative, and it makes you step back and look at things a little bit differently once you get older. And I wish I had listened to that when I was younger, but we all go through those growing pains. It's part of the reason that makes us human, is because we are imperfect. And I can only hope that through all my trials and tribulations that he's finally looking down a bit proud of me. Now, I know I've disappointed myself in recent years. I've, obviously didn't see myself not staying in legacy media, local news, and working my way up that way. I had no idea the landscape of media was changing when I was in journalism school. But I know that he would encourage me to keep going. So would my grandma and grandpa, who were my mom's mom and dad. I know he'd encourage me to keep going, and that's ultimately why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Who knows if this will ever be my full-time job? I hope it will be one day. I really do. I have a passion for this that expands far beyond me just sitting here and talking to you all for an hour and a half at night, or an hour whenever I do my show or on my fitness channel videos. It's, to this day, he's still my inspiration. Still one of them. And as much as I am sitting here enjoying my time here on this earth, I know living every day like it's my last now, I cannot wait for the day that I get to hear his voice again. And that's going to be a glorious one. So, in closing from that, happy birthday, Pawpaw. Once again, I miss you. Once again, I love you. And that's going to be a glorious reunion. Please, please have the charcoal grill ready. Please. But moving on to the next topic, as you all never thought I'd ever actually get emotional on a camera. I thought that the only time that would ever happen would be if, heaven forbid, I actually got to play out my contract at one of the Knoxville stations and I ended up leaving. Obviously, that didn't end up being the case. That's a topic we'll get into sooner than later. I got videos planned for why I ultimately left Legacy Media and why I was partially shown the door, as I should say. But last topic of the show for the day, obviously some more Wagyu beef. Dan Orlovsky went on the Pat McAfee show the other day and got eviscerated by Pat and his crew because he continues to spew the nonsense that Ty Simpson somehow, or those of you that don't watch college football, quarterback at Alabama, is the number one quarterback in the draft over Fernando Mendoza. And Pat McAfee, another guy that I aspire to be like in this new day and age, Wasn't having it. He held Dan to his word, and this is what happened.
We boots on the ground saw Fernando through the biggest games, and it's just like everything about him just screams.
What biggest games, Pat?
Huh?
What biggest games?
The college football playoffs.
Now you're playing possum.
No, you're right. Those SEC games are bigger than the fucking playoff games, Dan.
Am I allowed to ask questions and have an opinion?
They
as well?
played each other head to head.
Okay, Dan, do you just have so the college football playoffs a big mockery, a scam, doesn't mean anything. These games just don't matter. Like, what do you mean? What are the biggest games? They have a full fucking committee. They have billions of dollars in TV rights for what the biggest games are.
Okay, and so no, I'm aware of that, dude. Like, you guys, okay, so in the biggest games. So the college football playoffs started, and they played opening.
Well, you can
their
start at the
opening
Big
game
Ten
was against-
championship, I guess. You can say Big Ten.
Okay,
championship.
Big Ten championship. Okay, Big Ten championship. In that game, they're down 13-6 going into the fourth quarter. Indiana.
And then what?
Boom.
So do they
And then
win
what?
the game?
And then what, brother?
Yes, but
We're
they-
talking about all
they-
the moments. You're talking about traits. It's like, okay, how about 2nd and 17?
6 points through the first 3 quarters. People.
Ohio State's defense is a historic defense. Like, what are we even talking about?
People crucified Arch Manning for doing that on the road.
Crucified Arch Manning. Arch Manning's not a part of this conversation.
Well, if you go by that too, like Indiana beat Alabama, 38-0. I mean, it's
Yeah, so we're just picking and choosing.
No. You
Yeah.
guys aren't hearing
And this
what
is why
I'm saying.
people say you're getting paid to do this. You know what I mean, Dan?
No, because I'm giving you factual information, not opinion. They had 6 points through the first 3 quarters in the Big Ten title game.
Against Ohio
That's a
State,
fact.
look up who their defense is. Look up what that defense.
I'm
That's like one of
aware
the greatest
their
defenses
defense-
in the history of
but
football. And then what did he do?
Defense.
Then what did he do, Dan?
The biggest moment.
And what did he do, Dan?
The biggest court.
Charlie
He threw,
Becker.
I think he threw the post to start the second half, which is a great throw and a great recognition.
And a huge
And
moment
then-
after getting beat, so mental toughness is there, and then obviously being able to take a shot. He cracked his rib on the first play. I mean, there's just like, because then you're going to hold injuries on the other side. It's like, well, how about first play, a Big Ten championship guy gets this, and then takes 2 plays off. Wow, I just got cracked. No pause, he said on our show, and then he jogs back out there. It's like, is that not a trait? I don't know. You tell me.
Of course it's a trait. No one's questioning if he's a tough guy or a good player.